Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at one of the absolute most fascinating phenomenons on the web. We're exploring how collaborative internet storytelling actually builds this incredibly complex, terrifying, and honestly surprisingly structured lore. So if you love discovering how just raw, weird ideas evolve into massive universes, well, you're in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive into this. We all know the SCP Foundation's core mission, right? Secure, contain, and protect. But the true anomaly here isn't just what's locked up in those cells, it's how those cells were built in the first place. This isn't the brainchild of just a single author, it's a massive collaborative fiction project built by literally thousands of people. So what happens when the internet comes together to write the most dangerous catalog in the universe? You get a constantly expanding archive of sheer nightmares, perfectly structured in these cold, clinical formats.
Section 1. Enter the SCP Foundation.
To really understand this, we have to go all the way back to the earliest Series I entries. Some of these actually predate the current Wiki site and trace all the way back to 4chan and edit this. Just look at the sheer anything-goes variety of the Foundation's early containment cells. We have SCP-002, the living room, a tumorous sphere of flesh that draws subjects in and converts their biomass into grotesque furniture. SCP-008, a highly lethal prion known as the zombie plague, and SCP-015, the pipe nightmare, a massive, expanding anomaly of hostile plumbing. The original writers realized early on that documenting these highly unpredictable horrors with absolute deadpan scientific detachment makes the terror feel incredibly real.
Section 2. Tropes of Early Anomalies.
Now, these anomalies don't just work because they're weird. They work because, instead of just listing bizarre objects, these early SCPs use a brilliant show-don't-tell storytelling technique anchored right in our deepest psychological fears. You have body horror with SCP-002, stripping away our bodily autonomy. You've got the portal door trope in SCP-004, where a set of rusty keys opens doors to alien geometries, basically dimensions where human physics just don't apply, literally tearing subjects apart across the multiverse. And then there's the virus trope with SCP-008's prion, tapping into that primal, deep-seated dread of incurable plagues. It's really a masterclass in using familiar fears but wrapping them in highly clinical settings.
Section 3. Case Study SCP-013.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that to truly understand our case study, you need to understand the Foundation's specific vocabulary. We're going from the macro universe down to a single, highly contained artifact. And the key term here is cognitohazard. A cognitohazard is an anomaly that poses a danger simply by being perceived or comprehended by a subject. So it's not some monster that jumps out and bites you. It damages you just by you interacting with it, looking at it, or in the case of our next artifact, consuming it.
Our case study, SCP-013, is classified as safe, but don't let that label fool you. It actually consists of exactly 242 cigarettes. The most unifying physical detail among the whole collection is that every single instance has the words Blue Lady handwritten right on the side in blue ink. It's just such a mundane, ordinary, everyday object, right? And honestly, that's exactly what makes what happens next so much more disturbing.
Section 4. The Blue Lady Illusion.
Let's shift our perspective a bit to the psychological and sensory effects of this item. I want you to just imagine lighting a cigarette, taking a drag, and then looking in the mirror. But instead of your own face, you see a specific, totally unidentified woman looking back at you. She's between 25 and 35 years old, about 1.6 meters tall, with cropped dark hair and bright blue lipstick. Over the following weeks, your perception of your own body alters entirely to reflect her appearance. But here is the absolute most terrifying part. Your physical body never actually changes. The alterations are entirely mental, and they are completely permanent. You will literally never see your own face again. To truly grasp the human cost of this anomaly, we just have to look at how the Foundation acquired it in the first place. It was found packed in a crate in the apartment of a man named Ian Miles, right after he committed suicide via overdose. His entire apartment was just filled with hundreds of sketches of this woman, and he left behind this incredibly tragic note. It read, "I see her everywhere. That sad blue lady. I feel like I know her, but I can't remember. I love her, but I don't know why. Where did you go? I miss you." It's just a haunting reminder of the deep, totally irreversible madness caused by a simple cigarette.
Section 5. From Wiki to Video Games.
Now, one of the most amazing things about the SCP community
is how they take these static text entries and just breathe entirely new life into them through interactive gaming mods. And this brilliantly illustrates how adaptations have to balance deep lore with actual gameplay. See, in the original Wiki lore, SCP-013 causes permanent, irreversible psychological alteration. But in the game mod lore, consuming the cigarette gives the player blurry vision and a brief 30-second hallucination of the blue woman, while actually healing the player a small amount. So they've taken pure, infinite psychological horror and adapted it into a temporary, balanced mechanic for a survival game.
But listen, just getting your hands on this item is an intense gameplay loop all in its own. If you want to unlock that coveted Blue Lady achievement, you first have to navigate all the way to the heavy containment zone, branching off near SCP-409. You're going to need a level 3 keycard just to enter the room. Then you have to find a key, or use the skeleton key, SCP-005, just to get the containment box open. And you have to do all of this fast. If you linger in that room for more than 1 minute and 45 seconds, the terrifying SCP-106 will actually appear and hunt you down. It's such a brilliant way to make reading a wiki file feel like a literal life-or-death mission.
So the crucial point is that while the game kind of softens the permanent madness of the Wiki version, it introduces its own brutal mechanics. The game only features 3 in-game specimens out of the canonical 242. And if you get greedy and try to consume all 3 specimens of SCP-013, well, it bypasses the healing and the hallucinations entirely, resulting in instant death. It's a really fascinating contrast. The game has these strict, lethal limits, whereas the wiki file just leaves you to suffer in infinite madness.
Which brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought. We started with just a few disjointed horror posts on early internet forums, right? And today, we're looking at a massive, structured archive spanning wikis, video games, short films, and novels. If millions of people are constantly expanding the Foundation's archives, defining its clinical rules, and treating it as a living, breathing universe, at what point does internet myth blur the lines and just become a piece of modern reality?